Well, let's take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the JC that just closed. The local bourse traded relatively flat for most of the trading session, but it did dip slightly into the red. Did get a mixed handover from the Asian market, and this is as we got trade data for June coming out of China. With encouraging figures there, imports growing for the first time this year and exports growing more than expected. We do see the all share dipping on the day, more than 0.4%, that largely coming from the industrial 25 that's shown a loss just shy of 1%. We do have the financial 15 edging lower by almost 0.4%, but backing that trend is the resources 10 complex greening by 0.5%. Let's take a look at what is happening in the U.S. markets. And of course, we know that about 21 countries now have received tariff letters from the U.S. In economic data, we do have the U.S.'s June consumer inflation print coming out tomorrow. And this comes ahead of the Fed's meeting in less than 2 weeks. Those markets, although they traded softer last week, they are still trading near record highs. We are seeing an uptick there on the S&P 500, 0.04% above that flat line. The tech-heavy Nasdaq climbing more than 0.1%, and the Dow ticking up by almost 0.1%. Let's check in on the European markets. And of course, as I was talking about those letters, the European Union also did receive their letter from the Trump administration slapping a 30% tariff. Of course, Mexico also being one of the regions slapped with a 30% tariff. And yeah, as much as those markets are mostly lower today, including defense stocks, we actually did see the defense stocks in France ticking up as the French President Emmanuel Macron announced that the defense spending would be boosted over the next 2 years. The FTSE 100, the only bourse in green territory, up by more than 0.5%. CAC 40 declining almost 0.4%, and the DAX slumping by more than 0.5%. Let's take a look at the currency scene and start off with how the rand is doing against some of the major currencies. Still a weakened rand, although still below 18 rand against the US dollar, but it is concerningly getting closer to that market, 17 rand 90 against the greenback. The local unit against the pound at 24 rand 8 cents, and against the euro at 20 rand 92. Let's check in on the other currency pairs, starting off with the euro dollar at 1.16, pound dollar at 1.34, and the yen just below 148 against the US dollar.